Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Songwriter SESH. Today, my guest is Ayanna Gallant. Welcome, Ayanna.
Thank you.
I met you, I guess, online first. That's how a lot of people you meet these days, especially music.
Yeah.
We have a small community here in this Maryland music area, and I see you've got a lot of friends, same friends I have.
Yeah.
You've got a place called the Aya Cultural Center, right?
Aya Cultural Art Studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting that right for everybody.
It's all good.
So when they Google it, they can find it.
You can still type in those words and it'll come up.
Yeah, and you just moved, right?
Yes, we were in Urbana before and in a really old building, and we wanted to expand. Mm-hmm. We wanted to have a nice, safe, and big space for people to be able to rent it out and to be able to expand our classes. And now we're on the Golden Mile. And we can do that.
Yeah, it's a really nice place. It's right there. There's there used to be a fireplace place right there, just beyond where the old Barbara Fritchie's is. It's a car dealership now, SMH or something like that. But anyway, it's a great place. I had a chance to get out there a few weeks ago and do the open mic there, and great crowd.
Yeah.
You've had good crowds, it seems like.
Yeah, all of our events so far have been well attended. We've had great feedback, so I know I'm in the right place now.
Yeah, now, I'm a member of FAME, where you're a member of FAME
I'm a member.
as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is the Frederick area
Frederick
Acoustic Music
Enterprise.
Yeah, it's a great acronym. I couldn't remember what it was before, but I've been a member for a few years, and so that's how you got involved in hosting the open mic. Well, thank you for that. To be able to use your place for that, it's really nice. So what made you open this cultural center? How long you been doing it?
So I started in 2023.
Yeah,
and well, I'll back it up, I guess, a little bit. I was a music teacher in middle schools for 16 years. Wow. I did 7 years in New Hampshire, in rural New Hampshire, and then 9 years in DC. And during pandemic, I was like, I gotta get out of the city. We are not city people at all.
Yeah.
So we moved to Comus, Maryland, near Sugarloaf Mountain.
Yeah, a little south of here.
Yeah, and just before that, during pandemic, I had started a voiceover career. And I still do that, but nothing can keep me from teaching. I had to teach. I needed to do something. So I was like, all right, I've always wanted to open up a place. When I was 16, I remember saying this to my friend, like, I'm going to open a place called Mama's Music. And it's going to be like private lessons and classes and, cool instruments and all that. And I just had this vision of just like crazy, weird world instruments all over the place and just it being this eclectic place where people can come and just
it seems you
talk.
got that
Yeah,
now.
It is exactly what it's not called Mama's Music.
Well, I think it's better. I think that would have set a different kind of tone than I think the Aya Cultural Arts Center is a much better name for what you're doing there.
Yeah, and it kind of, it's hopefully the name gets people to know about a little bit about what we do and what our goals are.
Yeah.
And really the goal was to just have a place where people can express themselves artistically, one, and two, and most importantly, is to become culturally competent. And how do you become culturally competent is by being educated about other cultures. So some people have said, well, you do a lot of African drumming and a lot of African music, but really I say we learn about all cultures through the lens of whatever you're learning at that moment. So sometimes it's African drumming, sometimes it's yoga, sound healing, all these different kinds of things.
Yeah, it's always fascinating to learn something new from a different culture. My daughter's right now into a lot of Asian culture, like music, Asian pop music.
K-pop.
Well, K-pop.
I love
K-pop. And it's interesting to hear how they take from our culture, we take from theirs, and mesh those up. So you had one of my favorite Frederick area bands, the old Silent Old Mountains, came out and played at your old place. I know. Andrew was on the show once.
Nice.
So we did a show with them last summer.
Very cool.
So that kind of got my attention. I saw that they were playing there. I was like, okay, what's this all about? And then I got to see you, and I got to meet you a couple weeks ago, and we're glad you're on the show today.
Thank you.
So tell us about this is a songwriter show, so my first thought was, wow, this person's got a cool place. And then I said, well, I better listen if they got any songs, right? And then you have some songs, and I thought, okay, yeah, she's a songwriter too. So how did you get into songwriting?
It's funny because I never really think of myself as a songwriter. I just think of myself as someone who, I'm just a creative. I spent a long time being, the backup, and I love being the backup. I was a freelance trombonist and vocalist when I lived in New Hampshire.
Wow.
When I moved to DC, I wanted to kind of reinvent myself, and so I'm backup percussionist, so world's percussionist and vocalist still. But I just, I had a lot of, I did poetry. I met my husband doing poetry.
Okay.
I didn't write any poetry at all until I saw him on an open mic. I was like, yeah, that
Was he
guy.
doing an open mic poetry?
He was on the open mic.
Like beat poetry?
It was with jazz and the whole thing. And then I ended up hosting that show for 4 years.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, so we were really deep in the jazz and poetry culture of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and New England overall. And so that's how I kind of got into writing in general. So I never wrote any songs before I started doing poetry. So of course I'm like, all right, I'm a musician. I can write lyrics. Let's put it all together. But I wasn't a guitarist.
Yeah.
I'm still,
You're still learning.
It is the tool. It is the tool in which, to get certain chords and feels and things out. I'm a percussionist. I see it as a percussion instrument.
Yeah.
Same thing with piano.
An accompaniment, yeah.
Right. So I started writing. Whenever something came up for me, be it a poem, be it a protest or something, like if I get pissed off about something, a song would come out or a poem would come out, and I would, sometimes the lyrics would come first, sometimes the chords would come first. More often than not, the chords come first.
Yeah.
And then I write some lyrics to it. I like a challenge. I do occasional poetry, so not occasionally, but for occasions. Yeah. So if someone just gives me a subject and say, write a poem, write a song about that, I can usually just, do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been writing.
And what about
songs.
the song we're doing today, Give and Take?
Give and Take. So I wrote this probably 9 or 10 years ago. I was working with a woman named Kristen Durant. She does a lot of women's empowerment drumming and work. And I was like, well, maybe I can write something that's along those lines, because I'm very much aligned with the work that she does. And Give and Take is, I wanted to do a series of songs that are all cliches.
Okay.
So I have another one that's called Keep On Keepin' On.
Okay.
And that was the title of a documentary from one of my jazz mentors, Clark Terry. So that one's, that was much more angrier or whatever. But Give and Take is just like, it's also the thought of the Sankofa. So Aya is an Akan symbol, meaning perseverance and endurance. The Sankofa is the bird that's kind of looking back, learning from the past and giving to the future. So there's this give and take, give and take. So I wanted to have something little songwriter-ish, little soulful.
Well, the melody's beautiful too.
Thank you.
So you've got the lyric, you got the concept, you got the idea. Well, let's give it a go.
All right, yeah.
All right, Ayanna, that was cool playing a give and take song. We did some cool things with it.
Yeah, that's fun.
Now we're going to go to some of our inspirations, and one of them is like folk music, and particularly I just got done seeing a Complete Unknown movie with the Bob Dylan movie. And it had Ed Norton as Pete Seeger, who's great as Pete Seeger.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it yet.
He's really good as Pete Seeger, and that whole thing is in there. And so we decided, just the times we're living in, it might be time to like bring out the instruments of anti-fascism, as Woody Guthrie would call these things. And work on just making sure we connect with people. So you picked a Pete Seeger song. Yeah.
So actually, this is a Woody Guthrie song.
Is it a Woody Guthrie song?
Yes. So he wrote it, but Pete Seeger made it famous.
Yes. I looked it up and I thought Pete Seeger wrote it. But...
Yeah, I thought so too for a long time. And then Arlo Guthrie did it with him, with Pete Seeger. Okay. And he's like, well, Woody...
well, they were such good friends, especially the shows. The movie it's dramatic,
right?
But they're certainly they're friendly, And I love Woody Guthrie. I play a lot of Woody Guthrie. There's a YouTube video out there on my channel called I forget the Hard Rain's Gonna Come or something like that. There's anyway, Black Wind Blowing. That's the name of the song. I did Black Wind Blowing on I was going to do it on my last album. But so you picked this If I Had a Hammer song.
Yes. So
I remember it from being a kid.
So good because so I got introduced to this song through a book that was in my classroom called Get America Singing. And it's a Pete Seeger book.
Okay.
And I'd never heard of Pete Seeger. I kind of heard of Pete Seeger, but my parents listened to a lot of protest music, but reggae and soul.
So Bob Marley
yes. Ziggy Marley, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, that kind of protest music.
Gil Scott-Heron.
Yes. The revolution will not be televised. So I have a pretty big influence base, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. But once I discovered Pete Seeger's music and, Bob Dylan, Woody Guthrie, I was like, oh, I could do this. Yeah. But I also realized, just music history in general, this stems from a lot of African music. How? Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Call and answer. Mm-hmm. It's rooted in African music. I teach it, in the songs and rhythms that we do. And all of that music is rooted in root music.
Yeah.
So a lot of that became the call and answer that you see in protests. So what drew me to Pete Seeger, because YouTube became a thing, is that you would see him singing like We Shall Overcome. Well, he's always inviting people to sing along with him, right? Yeah. And so, of course, I was drawn to that because I use the guitar with my students.
When I was trying to learn this song, I was looking at Pete Seeger versions of it, and he was like doing it in a way that he was just playing it. And if I had a hammer, I had a hammer,
exactly.
I'd hammer in the morning. I'd hammer. He was teaching the audience how to sing it with him.
Right. So not only is it inclusive, but it is raising everybody up, literally with our voices and with our instruments. And that is rooted in African culture, in roots music, all the way into folk music.
Well, it's certainly part, and being Black History Month, it's good for us to remember that. Like, for me, when I think back on that, I think all the music I like is rooted in Black music.
We are all connected.
Music,
Yes, we're all connected in this way. And, as much as people want to say we are so divided, there is so much common ground. Absolutely. And really people just want to feel safe, and they want to be rooted in their identity. And when we realize that our identity is actually much more common than we know, then, and what better than some Pete Seeger music, right?
Right. And then all, all of the American pop music really is rooted out of that, and all of the early musicians in the rock and roll era will tell you that.
Right.
We just flat out lifted it and played it.
Right.
You know?
So I lived in New Hampshire for a time and got to be exposed to a lot more folk music. And the poets that I knew, they all played guitar. A lot of them played guitar. But we would vacation in Burlington a lot. And I would see buskers doing music that I really loved. And I just wanted to do more folk music. And I know you spent some time in Brattleboro.
I'm wearing this shirt today because I know folk music. And I bought this in Brattleboro, Vermont. Right? Vermont.
Yeah.
And a couple summers ago, and I was like, oh, this is like the perfect reminder of Brattleboro, because it was like such a hippie town, such a cool town.
Yeah.
I'd go back there anytime.
Me too.
So, well, let's do this Pete Seeger song.
Let's do it. And so this is going to be a little hit the road, Jack, a little one meatball, a little,
I'm playing the banjo in honor of Pete.
Yes. I'm sure Pete is looking down and be like, yeah, you got that. All right, let's try it.
I guess we were in Newport.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah. Newport Folk, here we come.
All right, one more song.
All right.
Well, Ayanna, I'm excited about this next part because you're going to sing one of my songs.
Yes.
And you've learned it?
Yep. Ish.
And I heard it a little bit. And I'm excited. I love hearing a different voice. This is one of those songs I wrote here in Maryland. Like some of my songs I wrote, before I moved. I moved here about 11 years ago, almost 12 now. We've been in Maryland from Texas.
Yeah.
And I played around Texas. That was my main music career, was down there. And I moved here, and I guess I was just thinking there's a lot of politics going on, a lot of struggling with religious things, like I've had this struggle with religion, and I want,
as many of us have.
I want to believe, and I want to have a faith in the greater power, and I want to have faith in love.
Yeah.
And that's what this song is called, Faith in Love and Fear. Because I think a lot of things when I think about religion is fear-based, and
weaponizing religion to get people to move a certain way.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too deep into that because my opinions are mine. But I was just feeling that way and just trying to say what's really matters to me is just, this whole universe is swirling around and we're in it, and what's our role in it. And to me, I really think, I was thinking about just what I can do is just love people.
Yeah. I really like that there could be a lot of interpretation on this. And of course, it being called faith in love and fear, I of course went to, a higher power is something different to so many people, whether you believe in religion or something else or not. But to believe in something greater than yourself is something that's so powerful. And when I first heard you do this on the open mic, it sounded nothing like the song that it reminded me of, but I knew that I was going to use this song as kind of a model for how I would approach it. And that song was called Stand Up. And the person singing it is Cynthia Erivo of Wicked fame.
Oh, okay.
And so, if I work backwards in this song, when you have the words, have no fear, your lover is here. Why are we so scared to say the word lover? I am a lover. We can say fighter, but, have no fear, your lover is here. Someone who has some kind of faith, who has some kind of faith in humanity. We can all be that person. It doesn't have to be someone rolling in on a white horse. We can all be that person. So, in the song Stand Up, it has the words from Harriet Tubman, and I go and prepare a place for you.
Yeah.
Okay, and it has the 9 over the chord. So I prepare a place for you. So I added that on the last part of this song. And so when I'm singing this, I'm really thinking of just how it can connect to people on what we say, both sides of the aisle. But there's so many sides to everything. It just feels so universal. Love, fear can drive things, but we can let love do it too.
That's what, I'm glad you picked up on that. Because I think people have that connotation about your lover is a different thing.
Right, but, exactly.
But to me, I wanted to say, that there's a person here to love you, and that is what. And whether that's a spiritual, the Christians believe it was Jesus that was sent to love, or whomever, whatever religion is, there's someone here that's been sent to love you and teach you about love. And so that's what this song's about.
I'm excited about it.
Well, let's do it.
All right.
Stars are all racing their way through the sky.
heart. You're for the triumph and love of defeat. You give your loving of all that you need. Are we getting ahead? Are we getting behind? When all we believe only lives in our mind. Are we getting ahead? Are we getting behind? Can we find our way with the blind always leading the blind? Always forgive and you never forget. Turning your cheek, Lord, you get what you get. Always forgive and you never forget. Who opens the door? Who paid your debt? Have no fear, your lover is here. 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 Have no fear, your lover is here.
You made it.
Yeah, man.
Oh, well, Ayanna, thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, two things. One is hearing people play songs together, having fun learning songs together.
Yes.
And the other thing is making new friends.
Yes.
So glad to have you as a new friend.
Yes,
And
indeed.
we'll see each other around town, and we'll see you around town. Be sure to check out Aya Cultural Arts Center.
Aya Cultural Arts Studio.
Aya Cultural Arts Studio. I never get names right.
It's all good.
But it's a great place. Get your kids signed up.
Yep.
Sign up yourself if you want to learn how to do these things. And it's a great business. Keep supporting the arts here in Frederick. And we'll see you next time.